Howdy all, this is Texas Gaming Industries here, and welcome back to another episode of my Let's Play Transport Fever 2 Free Mode Edition. In the previous episode, we got started on replacing our aging airfields with a brand new one that accepts larger planes, and also replacing our aging propeller planes with jet ones. Although we have two airplanes that are still powered by propellers. But other than that, we also modified the main line between the towns of Longhorn and Grand Valley with a 4-lane track. So now, multiple trains on one line can easily go on to another line. Well, technically, moreover, separating the lines from all of them so it will be easier for all my trains to not get so bunched up together. And in this episode, we're actually going to get started on one particular project that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, but now it has become available. It's time to build our high-speed rail line. Now, the route I plan to build is between Lemonton to Cedar Point, because Cedar Point already has an electric station. So, for our station, we're going to basically make the station at a 320 meter with high-speed track and a catenary. The reason is because high-speed tracks can allow trains to go over 186 miles an hour, compared to the wooden tie variant, which only allows up to 75. We'll place the station here, and the catenary wire is a little bit different. Since this is the Pennsylvania Railroad catenary mod that I'm using, these catenary wires are a little bit different. These are basically built for the higher speed section, while the electrification parts on the old wooden ties are just standard looking catenary systems. Anyway, we'll start placing down these. We'll basically get rid of the underpasses because this is only going to be a one-track station. And for track, we're going to basically use the Class 7 concrete track, which, unlike the standard track, can only go to 125 miles an hour. But that's fine, because our high-speed trains are not going to be going at such an insane speed. Because, while we place this down, let's actually have a look at the equipment we have for this new high-speed service that we're planning to use. Located in electric multiple units, this is the Series 0 Shinkansen, first developed and designed for the Japanese National Railways. It put into service in 1964. This is basically one of the first high-speed trains of the world, and we're going to be using this 12-car set, which, when I press add, means we could basically have about 480 passengers at a length of 304 meters. So it will comfortably comfortably sit at this station. But we need to change this to Lemonton Heights, because it's a little bit higher than the normal station, and this is where the new high-speed line will basically start us off. But also I need to set up the track nearby it. Let's see, let's get it up to this. Now, the tracks can only go up to 124, but since the trains can only go up to 130, it won't really affect it too much. But now we gotta figure out how to basically build our track to Cedar Point on our new, purposely built high-speed main line. First of all, we're not doing any curved bridges, and we need to make sure that the track is wide enough. So, we'll have to delete that, convert this to a bridge, well, not a bridge, an embankment. Do that, so the trains could easily go at a comfortable 124 miles an hour on that curve. It'll go here, and now we'll just need to build a bridge. I believe the best type of bridge will probably be one of these girder bridges, because it doesn't matter what track you use, it actually allows the bridge trains to travel on it at unlimited speeds, or depending on the curve. We'll also place another one here. And we'll need to place another bridge now. We'll just use this double span bridge here and build it right over the main line. We'll then have to curve the track a little bit to the left, and then build a bridge over this road leading into, well, the town of Greenwood. Now, let's see. We'll basically use why don't we just use one of these arch bridges? There we go. We'll extend the track out here a bit. Do that. And we'll basically now have gotten out of Cedar Point. Well, not Cedar Point, Lemonton with no troubles. We'll then need to build a bridge over the river. Let's see, there's 5 spans on that side, so I'll need to make about 5 spans on this side to make it match. Let's try... You know, let's try a stone bridge. Let's see. This will work. 124 miles an hour over this, so the train won't lose any speed. Next, we'll need to build a curved track to the right a bit. We'll place an embankment. Let's see, can I basically do... Yeah. I don't want to basically have a very sharp edge on that curve. And next, we'll extend the track straight again, but now we'll need to basically build track over a road and a railroad line at the copper smelter. I'll basically build over this with a long, long bridge, which I'm going to be using one of these girder bridges. Well, technically it's not a girder bridge, it's a truss bridge, but it does the job. But now here comes the main problem. Our tracks are now super flat, but we need to basically bypass this. So, we're going to excavate ourselves a little tunnel. Well, after getting a little more room for the tunnel, of course. That'll do. It'll be a steep grade, sure, but since the high-speed trains are able to go over 120 miles an hour, they can easily reach that speed needed to crest the gradient. Because normally high-speed lines are not fitted with a steep grade. As most high-speed tracks that I know of basically do not have large steep grades. And they also don't have tight curves either. Because they want the curves to be as gentle and the grades to be as gentle as possible so the train doesn't lose speed. We'll build it up to the top and basically flatten the ground here. Hopefully that'll give us enough clearance. And now all we need to do is just roll our mainline track over this section of mainline, as so. Let's see. We'll just add another one of these bridges. Let me see. Can we get a bridge? Like, yeah, this will work. Or maybe not, but hey, at least the supports are in place. We'll then extend the track straight again, and bank it, and then we'll plunge into the mountain with a tunnel. I really like the fact that this tunnel looks very angular. It kind of fits the high-speed mood. Now, all we need to do is basically make the tracks lower. Just modify the track a bit to make sure that the high-speed train doesn't slow down as much. We'll basically make a curved track here, and then basically get it down to the ground level a bit. And then do that. Do that. Now we'll just need to do is just curve it to the right. And at a solid 124 miles an hour, this is going to basically make it a very high-speed line indeed with minimal slowing. But we'll also need to figure out how to get passengers from the main express, from the high-speed train onto this line here at Cedar Point Central Terminal. So, to make it a little easier for my high-speed train, the train will travel to platform. This express train between Javaberg and Cedar Point will travel on track 2. This will give room for this high-speed rail line to be placed. I'll need to basically curve it to the right. And bank it. And then just finish placing down the section of the line. Although I think the signal arrow is in the way. No, it isn't, but one of the catenary arms is missing, so guess I'll have to add that back in, I suppose. Let's see. PRR catenary wire single. Perfect. Now with that out of the way, we can now add the rest of the track. We'll need to straighten the track out this way, and it's going to be a steel truss bridge like last time. There will be a gradual transit. I know this line is not at 124 miles an hour here, but at least, however, it will allow the train to easily navigate the slower speeds of my regular track. But now, I gotta lower this track grade a bit, so we'll have plenty of room to go down. Although the terrain looks really, really bad because the track is built so high up. Let's see. Let's actually see on how well the track will curve to connect to this piece. Speaking of which, we now got some new vehicles. The Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, a classic British coupe, which could also be sold here in the States. The SEPTA version of the MP54s, new Silverliners, a new MAN 13.304 pickup set of trucks, the new Volvo Vikings, as well as some new coil cars, which will be very useful for transporting steel, and the coach variants of the P54. Let's see. Change the tunnel design, and make this an embankment instead of a bridge. Do that, and then finally connect this section, and that's basically it. Now, let's see, how much money did we spend for the construction? Let's see. Whoa. Over nearly $27 million, I believe. That's a lot of money to spend for a new high-speed main line. But also, I want to at least make this area look a little better. Because, jeez, I don't like that very, very thin embankment right there. Because it makes me feel like if the train basically topples off, hits a bad bit of track, it's going to topple off to the side, and it's not going to roll down to prevent passengers from getting hurt or worse. Now, with that out of the way, our new high-speed mainline is now ready for service, although we gotta start adding some signals. We'll just use the stock standard electric path signals, since this is going to be a little bit different compared to the main line that I operate. And because of the high-speed nature of this railroad, I will basically set up the signals a little bit farther away between each other, so it will allow more trains to operate on this line in the far future. Because I have feelings that this service could be very popular soon. All I just need to do is just set up the route and get the train set up to run it. Just do that, and then just try to basically fix this ground a little bit. Alright, that works. And finally, just another pair of signals to allow the high-speed trains to enter the mainline block. Although I think the signals for that one should move here instead. And with the new high-speed line, I might as well add a new set of signals here in the tunnel. Now, with that in mind, our new high-speed rail line is finished, but it's time to get started on a new service. It will pick up passengers at Cedar Point Central Terminal and take it to Lemonton Heights. This will be known as High Speed Rail Route, or the HSRR, and this route will have this very, very purplish logo. Well, actually, no. Let me see. Purple, green, orange, brown, gray, lime, dark gray, blue, red, yellow, indigo, white. Let's just make it cyan instead. It will pick up passengers at platform 3 and take it to and travel up to Lemonton Heights. And for now, we'll basically only operate just one train on this route. So, let's purchase this 12-car set and assign it to the new route. And with that, our goal of building our own high-speed rail line, complete with a train and a separate route, is officially done. Now with the high-speed train in service, let's basically see if we can do a little bit of reworking with some of our equipment. Like, for example, I want to get started on transporting steel, because we already have the steel trains planned to take to the tool works, but we don't even have any lumber. That's the problem. We need to deliver more lumber. But thankfully, though, there is a lumber mill located near Lemonton, so we could at least be able to connect to that. But obviously, though, we'll also need to add some of these new signals onto the new line leading to the fuel refinery. And, of course, also place down a new whistle post because we haven't added one to this crossing yet. Now, for the freight station, it will basically require a 2-track station, 360 meters, standard track, no catenary. And we'll try to place it as close as we can to that, like there, and then move it down a bit. Let's see. There. Next, I need to do is build the track. We'll do that. Curve it. 35 miles an hour. That's reasonable for an industrial spur. And turn this into a double slip switch. But we'll also have to replace this aging semaphore signal with a new modern one. Kinda sad, really. But, hey, progress is progress. We'll then need to place another dwarf signal, and then connect this track to this mainline track here. With that, we can now start transporting lumber logs to this lumber mill. Let's get started on that. After I actually build a new track for this logging camp in Richland West. Let's see. All I just have to do is just place some of this down. Like so. And basically connect the track to the main line. Like so. Perfect. Now, let's set up a new service. This will pick up logs from the logging camp at Richland West and take it to Lemonton. well, to the sawmill at Lemonton. This will be freight train. Let's see, which number was it for lumber products? Lumber products. Here we go. It'll be F3. Well, F1D, I think. What was it? Yeah, F1D lumber products logs. We'll do this. Have a full load. 10 minutes. It will pick up its load and take it to the lumber mill. Speaking of which, where will this track go anyway? I'm pretty sure it will follow the main line, as it is, which is good. And I also need to set up some new trains to pick up some lumber from the mill. This will be known as Freight Train F3. Pick up lumber from the mill and take it to the tool factory. If I could find it. Here. It will go on track 1. This will be Freight Train F3 Lumber Products. Lumber. It will have a full load and take it down there. So let's see. Hold on. How will that train actually? Oh yeah, it can just go onto this line here, which will save some time. Now let's acquire some of the new equipment. We'll go to diesels and get the EMD GP30 to basically handle this service. These high hood generics will be used. And for carrying the logs, we'll just use these stake flats. 570 capacity. We'll purchase a pair of these. And assign train number 102 to pick up loads of logs from the logging camp. And this one will go and pick up lumber from the mill and take it to the tool works. And now we'll need to set up another train to pick up steel from the mill. Let's see. We'll acquire this and this. And for steel, let's see. Steel. We'll basically... We could use these coil cars, but they don't carry as much as the regular guns, so we'll just use the same one again. Buy that, and put it to work on handling the steel deliveries down to the toolworks. But one thing's for sure, though, as I noticed, our iron ore mine is peaking at capacity. It needs to transport more iron ore. So, sad to say that those Bessemer Lake Erie units are being replaced for these new EMD GP30s. I might eventually replace the Alcos by the 70s when we get there, but for now, I'll clone this train to be number 105 so we can increase the amount of iron ore being shipped. And with that increase of iron ore, we'll basically be able to make more steel and also keep up with the deliveries of coal. And what do you know, our high-speed rail routes are starting to basically come into fruition with passengers. Although I think we'll need to build a bus service here. We'll connect this bus station here and connect it to the rest of town here and place... Oh wait, I already have a bus depot. Though, I'll have to rename this service to E1 because now we have plenty of buses. Well, actually, now that I think about it, bus 87 and 88, why don't you go to serve the new line, which is bus service E2. And with that, I think we reached a good ending point for today's episode. So, if you enjoyed this episode of my Let's Play Transport Fever 2 Free Mode Edition, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Texas Gaming Industries for new video uploads every Friday or Saturday, depending on my on-site schedule. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!